Welcome back to Aisha.Academy, and in today's video we're going to be going through algebraic fractions. So when it comes to algebraic fractions, they're essentially fractions that involve letters on the numerator or denominator, aka fractions with algebra in it. So here is an example of these type of exam questions, which usually involves you having to either take away or add two algebraic fractions together and simplify them. So here we've got x over x plus 4, take away 3 over x minus 1. So the first thing that you're going to do is multiply both denominators together to find the lowest common denominator. So you're going to be multiplying the x plus 4 and the x minus 1 together. It doesn't matter which way around that you write it in terms of marks in the exam. Either way, you would get it correct. So x minus 1 multiplied by x plus 4. So that's step one. We're not expanding it, and I'll explain why we're not expanding it at the end of this question. Then we're going to write the new denominator and multiply the top by the same bottoms. So what that means is that you're actually multiplying by the opposite denominator of that fraction. So in this case, it's going to be x multiplied by x minus 1. And then again, we're going to write our new denominator, which we've worked out, which is the x minus 1 multiplied by the x plus 4. And then you're going to do the 3 multiplied by the opposite denominator of the x plus 4, and again over the same common denominator. Then the next step is you want to expand the brackets of the numerator and write it all together as a single fraction. So I'll put a video in the link below of expanding linear equations. So that's going to be x squared minus x for the first expansion. And the second expansion, because it's technically minus 3 multiplied by x plus 4, you're going to end up with minus 3x minus 12. Don't forget if you've got a minus in front, as that can make a big difference to your final answer. And again, that's going to be all over the same denominator of the x minus 1 multiplied by the x plus 4. Then we need to simplify this. So that's going to simplify to x squared minus 4x minus 12. Again over the same denominator. And then lastly, we are going to factorize the numerator. And this is really important because if you notice that any of the brackets is the same as the denominator, this will allow you to cancel them out. So by factorizing the numerator, we end up with x plus 2 and x minus 6. I will put the video in the link below for factorizing quadratics. But as you can notice, none of the brackets on our numerator is the same as any of the brackets in our denominator. And therefore, even though this is rare, it does happen, so you need to be aware of it. If you've got any brackets that you cannot cancel out, this will therefore be your final answer. And for this reason, this is why we don't expand the denominators, to see if anything cancels out. So now we're going to head on into some practice questions. So example 1. So here it wants us to simplify x plus 1 over 2 plus x plus 3 over 3. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to multiply the denominator, which is 6. So that's our lowest common denominator. And then what we're now going to do is we're going to multiply the numerators by the opposite denominator. So that's going to be 3 multiplied by x plus 1. Remember, if you've got a whole number multiplying by brackets for factorization, put the whole number in front. That's the correct way to write it. And again, on the opposite end, it's going to be 2 multiplied by x plus 3. And again, the denominator of 6. Now that we've done this, the next step, remember, is to expand on the single brackets. So that is going to be 3 times x plus 1, which will leave you with 3x plus 3. And then the other end will be 2 multiplied by x plus 3, which would leave you with plus 2x plus 6 over 6, our denominator. So now we've made it into a single fraction. Now we need to simplify our numerator, which would be 5x plus 9 over 6. And again, we can't simplify this even further, so we leave it like that. Example 2. So here, it's a bit of a hefty one, but not impossible. So we've got 4 multiplied by x plus 5 on the top, and then the x squared plus 2x minus 15. So the first thing we're going to do is factorize our denominator. So normally, if there were 2 separate fractions where it was like x plus something on one end or x plus something else or take away something else on the other end, we multiply them together. But here it's given us in a quadratic form, so we're going to have to factorize, knowing our knowledge of factorizing quadratics, which again is in the link below. So we factorize it to x plus 5 and x minus 3. So one thing you can note is the x plus 5 is on the numerator is the same as x plus 5 on the denominator. So therefore we can simplify this fraction by cancelling out the x plus 5s, and that should leave you with a final answer of 4 over x minus 3. So again, when you're writing it 4 over x minus 3, you don't necessarily actually have to put the brackets, since it's just going to be one bracket on its own. So you can actually just write the answer without the brackets. And that's the end of algebraic fractions. I hope that was useful. It definitely does come with more practice. Stay tuned for more content, and thanks for watching.